All right, folks, we are live. Welcome to another Pangburn live stream. More news from the Trump administration. Trump plans to establish the Trump Faith Office. That's what we're going to talk about today. This live stream is going to be not as long as our typical live stream, so I'm going to try and keep these to an hour. But as always, we're going to start with some reading. But let me give you guys the link to our Discord, like I typically do. Join the live discussion here. Then I will eventually go around the room here on Discord and ask you guys all for your specific takes. Message. In the meantime, please help me get the YouTube chat going. Welcome everyone on YouTube. Just gonna wait for the algorithm to have one more peek and then we will get going. Okay, there we go. All right, rock and roll. On February 6, 2025, yesterday, President Donald Trump announced the establishment of a White House Faith Office, appointing Reverend Paula White Kane, his longtime spiritual advisor, as its leader. This initiative aims to empower faith-based entities, community organizations, and house of worship to better serve families and communities. The office will operate under the Domestic Policy Council, consulting with faith community experts to align policy changes with American values. Interesting wording. Because, American values are far beyond Christian values or faith values, right? So we'll get into that distinction. In conjunction with this announcement, President Trump signed an executive order creating a task force to address anti-Christian bias, believe it or not, within the federal government. Attorney General Pam Bondi will lead this task force, focusing on eliminating discrimination against Christians in agencies such as the Department of Justice, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. These actions reflect President Donald Trump's intensified focus on religious issues, which he attributes to surviving 2 assassination attempts during his re-election campaign. He has emphasized the importance of bringing God back into American lives and has been vocal about perceived anti-Christian discrimination in the country. The establishment of the White House Faith Office and the task force to combat anti-Christian bias have garnered mixed reactions. Conservative groups have praised these initiatives, viewing them as necessary steps to protect religious freedoms. Conversely, liberal organizations have expressed concern that these measures could be used to justify discrimination under the guise of religious liberty. Reverend Paula White Kane, who will lead the White House Faith Office, is a prominent televangelist and pastor known for her association with the prosperity gospel movement. Her appointment has been met with both support and criticism, reflecting the broader debate over the role of religion in government. So who is Paula White? Let's take a look at her. Make sure you guys smash the like button when you get into the room. Smash it, smash it, smash it. Paula White Kane, a prominent televangelist, a spiritual advisor to President Donald Trump, has made several controversial statements that have drawn criticism. So the big one, January 2020, satanic pregnancies. She made this comment. So in a sermon, White Kane prayed for the miscarriage of all satanic pregnancies. This remark was widely criticized, with many interpreting it as wishing harm upon others. Well, it is wishing harm upon others. A miscarriage it doesn't have anything to do with the choice of the carrying mother. It's a pretty evil thing to wish on anyone right off the bat. So if she thinks that's consistent with Christianity, the United States of America definitely doesn't need more of that, right? Hopefully we can all agree on that. We don't need more of, praying for the miscarriage of all satanic pregnancies. Is that at all consistent with Christian doctrine, by the way. Maybe. There is mass genocide and every other kind of evil thing you could imagine. So this remark was widely criticized, with many interpreting it as wishing harm upon others. Yeah. White Cane later clarified that her words were metaphorical. Where have we heard this before, where it's like, no, I really didn't mean cut the thief's hand off. That was supposed to be taken as a metaphor. So those people shouldn't have cut the hands off. Referring to spiritual warfare against evil plans rather than literal pregnancies. Yikes. So this lady is going to be leading this task force, this faith office. And by the way, when it comes to faith, the best way I can describe faith as it's used within an epistemological framework, for those of you who don't know, just within one's framework of knowledge, how they come to know things. Let me just make sure my screen is working properly here. There we go. It looked like my camera went dark for a sec. But yeah, with regards to your epistemological framework and how you come to know things, faith, as far as I can tell, is an excuse people give for believing something when they have no good reason to give. Because the thing is, if you had a good reason to give, you would give that good reason. You wouldn't just say, well, that's my faith. It's like for any other thing. If you say, well, why do you think, I don't know why my camera's not working on YouTube, but I don't see it in my preview. But if someone asks you, what reason do you have to believe that your wife went to the grocery store? Well, she brought back a bunch of groceries with her, and she told me she was going. You give your reasons. You don't just say, I have faith that she went. We would think that would be silly. So it's like faith is used in this weird area, in this excuse spectrum. That's where I see it. It's like it's a big fat excuse. So this is the office of excuses that Donald Trump has created. Doesn't surprise me. This guy has an excuse for everything he does. Never takes responsibility for any of his lies, any of his evil or immoral acts and behavior. Never takes responsibility for it. He just creates excuses. So it doesn't surprise me that he has now created the excuse office. Let me know on YouTube. Yeah, it looks like my camera's going in and out. Hey, Scott. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. Hopefully you guys can. Yeah, the
super funky, Travis. All of the cameras are going in and out
on Discord.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know why that's happening.
Trump must be praying for the Streamcast software.
Yeah, so obviously God has this is how arrogant it is for Trump to like attribute his the failed assassination attempt against him to God, right? So it's like, oh, he it was God had something to do with it. People have told me this, and I'm starting to believe it, that God had something to do with, like, how arrogant would you have to be? It would be as arrogant for me to sit here and say some all-powerful God is causing an intermittent signal between my video and this live stream right now. Doesn't that seem arrogant, that I think God is that interested in me, if the God actually does exist, which I don't think God does exist at all. Eric just said God loves Trump. How do you know? Trump is like literally anti-Christian in his behavior based on any kind of like modern contemporary version of what Christians are promoting today in the here and now.
I think you're even assuming Trump would even care that, like, we're casting against this, right? Like whatever the cast, like, like this is like a tiny Discord live stream, but like we'd assume, like, I don't even think that Trump is thinking about people that are secular or Christians that have secular political views. Like none of that is included in like this idea that we need to now create a faith-based agency in the United States government. It's a terrible idea. It's consequential too. I mean, it's really bad.
Yep. Let me, I'm going to leave this Discord room. I'm going to come right back. I'm just going to try and fix my video here. Okay. Hopefully it was the Discord connection that was the issue. We'll see here. Oh, looks fine for now. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button so you never miss our live streams here at Pangburn. And yeah, let me know what you think about this faith office. I think it's the office of excuses. That's the way I view faith. Faith is just the excuse you give for believing something when you have no good reason to give. So yeah, let's open it up. Let's go to Actual Human. What do you think, Actual Human? I'm going to try and work on this video some more. So
No, the idea of having to have a entire department dedicated to this, I think is a little strange. That you would have to implement it in that kind of way if it's this amazing text that is self-evident into itself that you wouldn't really need to have a department dedicated to that entire thing. I think that sounds like it would be well within an omnipotent being's power to not do that. Um, but yeah, no, it really does sound like a entire department just dedicated to, we don't like this other person, we're going to use this department as a resource to get rid of the stuff that we don't like.
Screw that a little bit, right? Because like if we look at two things, if we ask if this is like a theological question, this is what I would throw back to you. Like, let's imagine Trump announces a new policy to give $100 billion to NASA or something, and he says, yeah, we're going to send a manned flight to Venus. I would be like, what the shit? Like, what changed that now scientists think that we can spend $100 billion going to Venus or something. NASA is saying we can spend $100 billion going to Venus. I think when we ask like, well, look, we can, for like this faith agency or whatever it is, we can ask, well, like, isn't, can't we look at hate crimes based on race or gender? Like domestic violence kind of goes into the same camp. Can't we look at all this other stuff? I don't even think like the question of like my belief should go into that political space. I think is what's kind of eating at me. And like, I think like if you can't explain it like we're doing anything else, then like, what am I supposed to, like, how smart am I even supposed to be about this stuff?
Yeah, but Nate, you're asking for there to be like a delineation between one's faith or one's beliefs and what they're doing in the office, it sounds like. And I don't think people can do that.
No.
Like,
but then I'm just not going to do it then. Like, that's really bad for me. If I have to, I got to eat that. Like, that's not something I want to do.
Yeah, but if you were in the office, Nate, and we'll let Actual Human go after this. But if you were in the office, Nate, all of your ideology, all the things you believe, you would bring into it as well, right? It would
not even a little bit. No, because if I'm the president, I like my job is to know that like, look, some Christian dad beat the shit out of his kid and that's my constituent, but so is like, if he doesn't want to do anything with like, if that person doesn't want to do anything with religion, then I have to compensate or accommodate for that as well.
Yeah. You have to do your duty by the law, of course. Like you have to, but you're still, if you're commander in chief, you still have normative stances that you are going to be espousing. It's not like you can just remove those because you're going to be asked your normative opinion on all kinds of things all the time. And that's going to pull from your meta ethics, your ethical stances, your virtue ethics, if you're a virtue ethicist, whatever you are, a Christian, a Stoic, or whatever.
Yeah, but that's just transparency for me. And sorry, I'll wrap this up. But no, because like Donald Trump's my value would be transparency. It would be democratic norms, and a Donald Trump press conference is like Looney Tune land. So like that's really the only thing I'm talking against is like if I can't understand something, then that's I don't even know.
Fair enough. Thanks, Nate. Go ahead, Actual Human. Yeah.
To the idea of like having a department for a department for Christianity, a department of faith. To the YouTube comments, it would be like having a department of Sasquatch. Now, it's fine if you believe in Sasquatch. It's fine if you believe in any number of cryptids. But to make an entire department actually dedicated to this thing, like you could be a Christian and be president, but to have a department of Christian affairs in your in your cabinet, in like how the government is run, is entirely different.
And it does not surprise me that this psycho crazy Reverend woman, White Kane, Paula White Kane, was his appointee, who called for satanic pregnancies to be miscarried in 2020. It doesn't surprise me that this is Trump's choice. He chose RFK Jr. to have something to do at all with science and education and communication from the high office. And this guy's a known anti-science peddler, anti-vaxxer, just a guy that's just known to be absolutely full of shit and doesn't understand science at all. So it's like, it doesn't surprise me that this is his choice of a human being to run this new excuse division, right? And I'm going to say it again, faith, the excuse you give for believing something when you have no good reason to give. And if you think faith is a good reason, please demonstrate that to me. I don't know how you would demonstrate how faith is a good reason. You would have to use faith probably to demonstrate that faith is a good reason to believe anything. But
so I'd have a question for that, because the thing I'd want to know is like, okay, so like, let's just assume we're doing this, whatever it is, it's a faith agency, Christian Protection Act or something like this. Like, I still need to know, even if I disagree with this vehemently or adamantly, I still need to know like who these like, you know, whatever, these snake handling people, like, where are they going in the United States to build this agency? What are the conversations they're going to have? What are the types of policy they're going to want from senators? What are they going to be telling voters? Like, so I'm not even to the point of why I can disagree so much, but to like what you're,
let me respond to that. Like the big reason for this, it seems, is there's this worry about anti-Christian bias in the United States. Now, let's go over this. What about Christianity's dominance in the U.S.? The U.S. remains a predominantly Christian country. About 63% identify as Christian per Pew Research 2022. Christian holidays, for example, Christmas, Easter, are widely celebrated and referenced to Christianity, remain embedded in government and culture. Not just in the culture, in government. Legal protections for Christians. The First Amendment protects religious freedom, allowing Christians and other faith groups to practice freely. And this actually makes me beg the question, when this is called the Faith Office, are we including Muslim faith? Are we including Hindu faith? It seems like this is Christocentric, Christian-centric policy or office. So when they say
back
faith,
the flying spaghetti monster,
we got to bring back the flying spaghetti monster. We got to bring back the great juju on the mountain. All of these faiths that one could come up with, right? So some more legal. So the second legal protection: religious organizations receive tax exemptions and special legal considerations. Political influence: many American politicians, including presidents, openly identify as Christian and frequently invoke religious rhetoric. Do you think a Muslim could do that and have any great success for the high office? I don't think so. Evangelical Christians wield substantial political power, particularly in conservative circles. How about social and economic status? Christians are not structurally disadvantaged in terms of access to education, jobs, and political representation. Many high-profile public figures, CEOs, and cultural influencers are openly Christian. Now, what I think I am seeing here is not that there is discrimination against Christians on high and running rampant anywhere. What I think is that compared to how things have been historically, Christianity is losing its overwhelming dominance on the culture. The culture's becoming much more secular. There are many different competing religions in the fold now. So what I think is happening is the Christians are starting to want to try and pull back some of that dominance. And this is a way that the Christians can do that in the high office, have the faith office appointed, and know that we're taking this seriously, and we're going to be out there making sure that there's no discrimination happening. This is really the thing I see when a religion is dying on its last breath. It's on life support here. We're going to do everything we can. We're going to create this office and put this crazy lady at the helm, who calls for satanic pregnancies to be miscarried, calling a Christian reverend calling for miscarriages, praying for miscarriages, right?
Not a Christian reverend. She participated in a Moonies, the Unification Church's Universal Peace Federation prayer rally of peace on the Korean Peninsula, and she called the leader of the Moonies a jewel from God, Mother Moon, as one of her great spiritual leaders. Yeah. So the Moonies claim to be the next coming of the Messiah.
Right.
And this, just to kind of emphasize how myopic this is, because you were talking about Islam, we can talk about Judaism, we can talk about secularism. Someone in chat, Sophie Leo, I see, asked about Buddhism as well. And so, to me, I don't think it's contradictory to add a political Buddhist even response to this. And this should be a pretty hot and fiery topic, right? But my sort of belief is okay, Trump, if you're going to do this agency principle, you have to explain how this is inclusive of all of the United States population. Are you going to go do that, right? Isn't any government agency, doesn't it exist in order to serve the actual needs that we debate about democratically in America, right? And so I do think even minority religions like Buddhism and stuff, just because we already know, we can assume pretty strongly that if we flash forward 10 years, 20 years, and this thing kicks off the ground, this is going to be a total Christian nationalist kind of cesspool shit show. Well, it's not going to be able to respond to other people's values in the United States, which the Constitution just does.
Yeah, another question I have, and I want to go to Dawn next here after I promote the stream a little bit here on our Discord server. But how many Trump Bibles do you think Trump's going to sell with this new implementation of the Faith Office? Oh, I bet he's going to sell a whole fuck ton of those Trump Bibles. More corruption potentially here. So everyone, please join us on Discord. Our Discord server is everyone is welcome, whether you're, a Trump supporter, a Trump hater, a Democrat or Republican, believer in God, lack of belief in God, whatever. Come join us on Discord. We have a great community here where we engage in good faith, helpful discourse on any given topic. We're touching politics a little more now, but we're often having philosophical discussions about free will, the existence of God, consciousness, all kinds of things. So if you look at the pinned message in the chat here, all you have to do to join the Discord server is click the link and you will be connected. It's all free to join. And if you don't know how to operate Discord, just go on YouTube. There's some really good tutorials, but we want to hear from everyone. Our community is not an echo chamber. We have people that disagree all the time on different things. The only thing that we don't allow is unhelpfulness or bad faith. And by bad faith, we mean people who lack sincerity with their intentions. And, we should all, as adults, know what unhelpfulness looks like. And our server is a 18 plus server, by the way. But everyone is welcome. We hope you join. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. We're dropping new live events all the time, live intellectual discussions. I'm booking our season right now, our 2025 season, which is going to feature some excellent debates on the existence of God. We're going to be working with Destiny Bonnell, the second. Stephen Bonnell, the second Destiny. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Destiny as a debater and a politician in his own right. So he's going to be doing some debates. We're going to be doing this Debate Destiny tour, which is going to be a lot of really cool, where he's going to be debating audience members. Going to be a lot of fun. So smash the like button for this stream. Don, we haven't heard from you yet. Don, what do you what do you think about this new faith office?
Well, that's absolutely insane, isn't it? I mean,
Close to,
honestly,
yeah, if not, yeah.
we have in our history, if we want to go to originalism, President John Adams signed the Treaty of Tripoli, stating and guaranteeing, it was ratified by Congress at the time, that we are not now, nor have we ever been, nor we will be in any time in the future, a Christian nation. It is in our Constitution that all religions are protected, and that also means all those without religion. So I'd like to put a question out to YouTube chat and anybody else that might have an answer. How does an office of faith protect those without?
Right.
It seems to me like Christians want to claim to be the most persecuted group because anyone who disagrees with them is persecuting them somehow. And I don't get the equality there. I don't see how that it could even be a true statement. Disagreeing is now persecution.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, thanks, Don. And faith is not a virtue. Right, you should throw that away. I don't care what your religion tells you, what your pastor tells you. Faith is not a virtue. Just think about it. Faith is an excuse you give for believing something when you have no good reason to give. When someone asks you why you believe that the Bible is divinely inspired, for example, and you say faith, or you say the circular thing of like, because the Bible tells me so, which is circular reasoning, right? At any other point in your life, if someone asks you, like, why do you think your kid's at school right now? Well, because I dropped them off and they have school today. You give your good reasons for believing that. You don't say, I just have faith my kids are at school right now. You would anyone would think you're stupid for saying that, giving that as a justification. So really think about that. What is this faith office? Faith should not be being promoted from the highest office as a virtue or a good thing or something that's worthy of a position in high office. Let's pass
an office of was it an office of evidence and education.
Yeah. Office, and honestly, anything would maybe be better. Like an office of reason. How about that? An office of reason. Wow, I can see it now. I'm dreaming. I'm there in the office of reason where the government's promoting logic and helping people not to be so logically fallacious in their reasoning and in their belief systems.
That's why we need the office of fallacies, because it'll be one big oof.
Yeah, fuck the 10 commandments. How about the 10 top most commonly committed fallacies? How about that? That's going to help you a lot more in this world. Believe you and me. We got a lot of comments rolling in here. Everyone, make sure you smash that like button. We're up to 28 likes. Let's get it up there. It just takes a second. Smash. Even if you're a hardcore Trump supporter, I do want to hear from you. I do want to better understand, people who I disagree with politically. So Joseph Sewell says, I think Trump thinks he's sent by God. Email where of Foles, son of God. I don't know what the rest of that meant. I think Trump thinks he's sent by God. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, that would be kind of peak arrogance, right? He is. It's peak arrogance to think that you have some connection with an all-powerful being and that you were chosen. And, it's that's what faith does too. It gives people, like, if you start giving faith as the reason, the justification for believing something, you can believe anything on faith, anything. There's nothing that can escape that faith card. Nothing.
Faith is the antithesis of evidence. It's the opposite of it. The more evidence that you have on a thing, the less faith that you're required.
Yeah.
The more faith that you have, the less evidence you probably have.
Evidence would be the good reason you give as the justification if you had it. And NFRM, feel free to talk, join our Discord server or send me an email, travis@pang-burn.com. Yeah. So let's see. I don't know if Sophelio says, I don't know if consciousness is supernatural, but I think that anything artificial is, quote, above nature. That if God really was the creator of the universe, then the universe is artificial. Interesting take. Thanks for your take. Let's see some other comments here. We see a lot of Trump 2025, a lot of cheerleaders in the chat.
Yeah, Eric saying he helped us so much more than any other president. That is a huge claim. That is huge.
In what way? Can you expand on that? I'm happy to go down that road with you. You might be right about some things. There are some anecdotes there where Trump had some political victories. It's impossible to deny that if you are someone that values evidence and if you accept whatever normative thing that thing improved. So write it in the comment section. But I'm constantly debunking all of these things like the economy, immigration, all of these things that a lot of people have been deluded into believing that Trump improved in some way, even by their own standard. And I've been debunking this stuff constantly, not just this week, but last week as well. So someone says Jesus is the way. How do you know? Because divinely inspired, apparently authors who claim to be divinely inspired wrote that down in a book. That's how you know. You have faith that those authors were divinely inspired, which you shouldn't have faith in that. That's unsound epistemology.
Can I make a politics point real quick, Travis?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was just thinking about this the other day as well. This is my I'm so old moment, but people don't remember that 10 years ago, Donald Trump was being compared to Silvio Berlusconi in Italy. And Silvio Berlusconi was also like this playboy, billionaire sort of politician. And basically he did the same thing. He just said a bunch of bullshit about like Italian identity and people need freedom and choice and all this other, like all these buzzwords that meant absolutely nothing. Because what the policy basically was going out and allowing like political backers and corporations and really conservative politicians to cut away everything that like Italy had done in the past. And it produced like dozens, hundreds of indicators that it made Italy worse, like worse democratic performance, worse economic performance, and so not to like take out the religious context of this agency, but it's also just really bad government in terms of like what a smart person would say a government is.
Okay. Copy that. Thanks, Nate. So someone just said, dude still can't name one faith more persecuted than Christianity. I mean, you don't think today with everything that's going on with radical Islam, who I speak out against constantly, and I think are, a poison on this planet, especially those who think that it's okay to enslave women in burlap sacks and take away their freedoms. And, I have a lot of, deep burning hate for those bad ideas. But you don't think Islam is as persecuted or more so than Christianity? I think it's definitely more so, because it's more the fundamental aspects of Islam are practiced in certain parts of the world still, unlike Christianity. Christianity has had a big update to kind of progress and to not be out there promoting, stoning homosexuals to death and things like that, minus the Westboro Baptist Church. Hang on, Nate. Minus the Westboro Baptist Church and some fundamentalist groups like that. So I think when we're looking at persecution, Muslim bans, when was the last time there was a Christian ban, right, coming from any country? I can't really think of any, right? So yeah, woe is me, Christianity, still like 65% Christian, and for all the reasons I read out, I'm not worried of any kind of widespread bias anti-Christian bias going on in the United States. Like there's so many protections, and most of the leadership, identifies as Christian. It's hard to be successful at all in the United States if you don't just like whisper a few times or make the right sounds from your mouth that have Christian included in it. So
I just want to hear from that guy if he's still in the chat. That person, not meaning to be disrespectful, but like my one question is like, look, do you think Christians can be good capitalists? Are Christians good capitalists? Can you run for political office? Can you run a company? Can you raise a family? I think most people just automatically say yes to those questions. And so your definition of persecution, or what can be persecuted, I wouldn't understand coming into that conversation what you're talking about.
all right, we are actually we are 35 minutes in. Does anyone else in the room want to add anything? I see we have What's Up, we have Lou. I'm not going to say your full name. We have Lou, Mama, Brina. We have, I think this is Marcus. Yeah, if anyone else has anything to say, please say it now. Someone said gas and groceries are up in Oklahoma. So we're going to be doing a lot of live streams like this. So make sure you drop a like and make sure you subscribe if you want to keep up to date with what's going on with Trump and what's going on geopolitically around the world. We're going to be doing a lot of these. And
I got to take off, Travis.
Yep.
Thanks for letting me hop on.
Yeah,
bye, everyone. Have a great day. Take care.
So yeah, make sure you guys drop a like button. We are going to end the stream right now. I just wanted to do a quick stream today. I'm going to keep these a little shorter so that the videos, once they actually come out, are more successful in the algorithm. So thank you everyone for stopping by. Join us on Discord one more time. Here's our Discord link. Come in, debate, have fun, join the community, and we'll see you next time.